What's up, hockey fans? Welcome back to another video, and this is a very different video. As you can tell, and if you've been a fan of this channel for long enough to know anything about me, really, I don't like the Toronto Maple Leafs very much. Nothing to do with the city, nothing to do with the players or anything, mostly to do with the fan base. But this playoff series the Leafs have been going around so far in the first round with the Habs, it's kind of, for the first time, actually kind of made me feel bad for the fan base. Because maybe not so much for the bandwagon side of things, because they don't really understand the pain for real fans, what this feels like. And I understand their pain. I do. I'm a Jets fan. I grew up in Vancouver as a Canucks fan, though. My whole life, I was a Canucks fan until the Jets came back. The moment the Jets came back, I got on board with that team. That's kind of my background as being a fan with the Jets. But in my early life, in my early teens and growing up as a kid, I went through all the years of amazing Canuck teams. And the failure in the playoffs, the failure in the regular season, just the constant mediocrity, never being able to get over the hump, losing to Boston in Game 7. I was there for it all, and it hurt like hell, and it was part of the reason why I wasn't a fan of the Canucks anymore. I would have rather root for a brand new team with no legacy of failure, with nothing, no legacy at all really, just a brand new start for a new franchise relocating, than have to deal with the Canucks losing anymore, and the way they were run. And for a long time, I didn't even like the Canucks, and they were more of a punching bag, because I just did not like the way that they were run and the way that everything happened on the ice, and the mediocrity and the years of failure. And now I see that as a Leafs fan, and I see the way fans are reacting and taking this. I see how Steve Dangle, even a guy where you love and you love to watch and love to see suffer if you're a fan of other teams, because it's just the way he does it. The production value is great. But the guy is hurting genuinely, and he's not just him. Every Leafs fan, unanimously almost, is just like, we're done. Game 7, what's the point on even watching it? I've seen more Leafs fans and even people who work for Sportsnet saying that they bet that Game 7 will have less viewers than what Game 6 did, because that's just how many of the Leafs faithful don't have any faith going into this game, and for good reason. You're going all the way back to 2016, right? Yes. 2016-17, losing in the first round to the Capitals. The year after that, the Bruins in a Game 7. The year after that, the Bruins again in a Game 7. And then what do you get? The freaking Jackets in the qualifying round last year in that upset. And then now this year against the Canadiens, you're up 3-1. The Canadiens force your hand and push you onto the brink into a Game 7 winner-take-all, where you have no faith, not to mention the fact that in both games you were leading. You could have clinched the series and won in both of the last two games, yet you come back, you tie the game with all the momentum on your side in the third period, and you lose in overtime. Like I like to say that the Jets in round 1 was a Disney movie. That's what it felt like watching. If anything, you guys are living on a Disney movie as well. You're just on the exact opposite side. You're that team that was the big bad boys all year round, the number 1 team that was expected to win, and now you're crumbling to a team that no one expected to be in this situation. And I genuinely making this video not to just update you fans on a situation that you already know you're in, but it's to genuinely ask the question at this point. What do you want to see done with this team? And I mean that in the most heartfelt sincerity ever. Like, I'm being serious. If you guys lose ahead of Game 7 today, or hell, even tomorrow, I don't know when I'm uploading this video yet. Point being, whenever the Game 7 rolls around on Monday, and you go into that matchup, and you lose, what do you do? What do you do to change the direction, the trajectory that your team is currently on? 5 years in a row of losses in the first round. 5 years. I thought Paul Maurice should have been fired after 3 years of first-round losses if the Jets lost this year against Edmonton, which I thought they would. So I'm genuinely curious, Leafs fans. You've already went through Babcock. Do you want to go? Is it time for Dubas to go? Yeah, he's handed out those contracts. Is he the main problem? I don't really think so. In my opinion, Kyle Dubas, regardless of the contracts he's given out, and you agree with the Caps or not, has built, without a doubt, the best Leafs team we've seen in a very long time. We all thought that. And this is a very good team. The fact is, they just can't perform on the ice. They can't perform in the playoffs. Their stars aren't even that bad in the playoffs. They're really not. When you go back and you look at guys like Austin Matthews, who is obviously without a doubt next to John Tavares and Marner, the main guy in Toronto, we all know, hit him with the 4. He's not been that bad in the playoffs. You go to, going back to last year, in 5 games played, he had 6 points. That's pretty damn good in my opinion. You want your guys to be more than a point per game in a playoff series? He was. You go back to the year after that, and then maybe you can be like, okay, maybe he didn't have that great of a series, but at the same time, 7 games played, 6 points. In his second year in the playoffs, though, in 2017-18, maybe not so much of a good year there. 7 games played, only 2 points. But this year, he's been good. Matthews has gotten a goal and 3 assists for 4 points this year in 6 games. Obviously, you want to see him produce a little bit more, but Mitch Marner is the guy, I think, who is having a lot of issues right now. He's not been able to really do much. Only 4 points in 6 games. That's Austin Matthews. 4 assists in 6 games. No goals scored. You want guys like Mitch Marner to be better. And if Mitch Marner is going to have 67 points in 55 games and then not show up in the playoffs, then that's a huge, scar on his face. And let's be real, he's never exceeded past 9 points in the playoffs, and ever since then, the last 3 years have been mediocrity for him in the playoffs. Really, he's got to do better, and that's just coming from me. I think Mitch Marner is obviously one of the weaker links in that top 6, in my opinion. I don't think he's worth the money. I think he's great, but I think that for what he brings, I think you can get a guy who's just as good as that, who can feed the puck over to Matthews. I don't think you give him that money. I think personally, for me, you move on from Marner. I think that's the type of change that has to come to this team if you lose. So, I'm getting back to the question, Leafs fan. I'm genuinely curious. Go into the comment section, pause right now, before you hear out the rest of my thoughts before I end this video. What would you rather want to see this team do if you lose? Because I genuinely don't know what it is anymore. I love the game of hockey. I love the way the Leafs are built this year. I think they're well coached. I think management does have its flaws, but I think it's done a pretty good damn job of assembling a winning core with a lot of experience. Yet they can't win. And it's not just this team. Go back to the year before. The year before, every team has been good. And don't give me the excuse of goaltending either, because Freddie Andersen is maybe he hasn't been the most consistent rock you need to lean on in the playoffs at times, and that sucks. But Freddie Andersen has been your guys' heart and soul of you being able to win games for a long time. Don't forget how bad your defense was a couple years ago. I see so many bandwagon fans from the last, say, 2 years that are just crap on Andersen. And it's just like, you know what? Maybe he sucks now, and that's fine. He deserves the criticism. But he still is the only reason why your team, for a long time, was as good as it was. And there was a reason why he was always up and wanted to get his name into the Vezina nominations, because that's how much the fans believed in him. And I don't know what else to do at this point. Jack Campbell, to me, isn't your number 1 goaltender. And even if you give the goaltending that Jack Campbell's giving you this series, maybe you win one of those past series. Maybe you do. Maybe. But let me ask you this. This year is the year that you should be able to win it then. Because I see Leafs fans trying to poke that hole in and try to make it sound better. But for me, as a fan of hockey, if I was a Leafs fan, a diehard, that's been with this team for a long time, that wouldn't matter to me, because it's a what have you done for me lately type of situation in sports, and you can't hypothetical and plug goalies in and make it, because then you could do the same thing in any time in history, and you could have this endless possibility of dimensions and universes where different things happen, and that the Oilers win every cup in the year, and Gretzky never leaves, and you guys win as many cups as you can because you plug in little things and fix it. You know, the high stick and call when it's Gretzky and the freaking Kings back then. You win that series, you plug that, you know what I mean? You can't be hypothetical. This team has the goaltending, the team in front of it, the good defense. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for this on-ice play. It's not the coaching. It's just a curse, like what Steve Dangle said and a lot of other Leafs fans believe. So I'm genuinely curious to all you Leafs fans out there to end this video. What would you want to see happen at this point to this team to change the momentum, the trajectory, and try to get you back onto a winning path? Because it has been too long of mediocrity for you guys. Too long. It's got to happen. Something needs to happen drastic to change the outcome of this team if you guys lose. Not acceptable the amount of failure they've had with the amount of players they've had in that time. They've only gotten better every year. And yet for most of it, it's been the exact same. Even last year in a 5-game series, it went equivalent of a Game 7. You've gone potentially for the last 4 years to Game 7s and lost, potentially, going into that option. So if you win, congratulations, you broke the curse. And honestly, I would like as a Jets fan to play the Habs, but I'm looking forward to either one of those teams, and I think it's going to be a great matchup. So I don't really have a play in this race. I just want to see one fan base celebrate a great win and a comeback, and the other fan base is finally going to celebrate breaking a streak of mediocrity that spans almost generations. So I hope, and I hope that you guys can finally snap this. 20 years almost of being not advancing in the playoffs. So hope to God you guys can get this done. And I'm not even a Leafs fan, and I don't even really want to see you guys advance. But at this point, it's not a 4-game win. It's not 5 games. It's 7. And the amount of pain that's been bestowed on that franchise for the real fans out there and not the bandwagon ones, the real ones that know the pain, that have stuck through all this, I hope actually that you guys can get a win at this point. I really do. And I don't even like the Leafs. But I think that you guys almost deserve it at this point. Because like at least a second round appearance, something to make you have some hope, restore the faith in the team. So let me know what you guys think you should do. That's going to end this video. I hope you enjoyed the take on the Leafs from a biased Jets fan. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. If you're a fan of hockey, regardless of the team that you root for, definitely consider dropping a subscription. It really helps the channel out. And like I said, I say this in every video, just because I hate maybe a few fans, circles, and fan bases because, you know, they're toxic, doesn't mean I hate any teams. So regardless of the team you root for, definitely consider subscribing, because there's no hate being bestowed on this channel just because I might not like one team more than the other. But yeah, without that being said, thank you for watching this video. Peace, love, and positivity as always. Follow all my socials, turn on notifications to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and bye-bye.